What if a simple Lincoln Memorial penny in your pocket could be worth millions? In today's video, we reveal the top 5 super rare Lincoln Memorial pennies that collectors are hunting for, and one of these could be the coin that changes your life. Don't spend yours until you check these. Every single day, Americans handle millions of pennies without a second thought. They are the unwanted stepchildren of U.S. currency, tossed into jars, ignored on sidewalks, and dismissed as worthless copper. But what if I told you that one specific penny, a coin that looks almost identical to the change in your pocket right now, could be worth more than a luxury home in the suburbs? What if the loose change you almost threw away yesterday could actually be a ticket to financial freedom? There are 2 types of people in this world: those who spend their pennies and those who inspect them. Today, we are going to separate the casual spender from the savvy collector. We are going to dive deep into the legend of the 2009 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin so rare, so shrouded in mystery, that it has become the holy grail for modern numismatists. By the end of this video, you will not only understand why this coin is a ghost in the market, but you will also be rushing to check your change jar with a new sense of urgency. Because finding this coin isn't just luck. It's a life-changing event waiting to happen. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at the date on a penny? I mean, really looked? Most of us are guilty of simply glancing at the copper color and tossing it into a jar, completely oblivious to the potential fortune hiding in plain sight. In 2009, the United States Mint did something unprecedented. To celebrate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent, they issued 4 different reverse designs. These designs depicted different stages of Lincoln's life: his birth in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. Now, here is where it gets interesting. The Philadelphia Mint, which produces coins without a mint mark, churned out over 1 billion of these pennies. That sounds like a lot, right? In theory, they should be everywhere. And they are. But here is the catch, the crucial detail that separates a 1-cent piece from an $820,000 windfall: condition and error. Most circulated 2009 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. If you find one in your pocket change today, it is likely worth just its face value. But hold on, don't click away just yet. The value of this coin is a spectrum. On one end, you have the pocket change that is worth a penny. On the other end, you have uncirculated gems in top condition that can fetch hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. For instance, an uncirculated 2009 penny at MS63 can cost about $5 to $7. But push that grade up to MS67, and you are looking at values ranging from $135 to $225, depending on the design. But we aren't here to talk about hundreds of dollars. We are here to talk about life-changing money. We are here to talk about the $820,000 penny. So, what makes a penny jump from a few $100s to nearly $1 million? It all comes down to the errors. The 2009 Lincoln cent is notorious for its unique minting errors, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for these anomalies. One of the most famous errors is the double die variety, specifically on the formative years reverse. On some of these coins, a doubling occurs on Lincoln's thumb, making it look like he has an extra finger. Verified double die varieties have been known to bring in anywhere from $65 to $2,750. Then there are the more extreme errors. Imagine a penny struck on the wrong planchet, or a coin missing its clad layer entirely. These errors can be worth hundreds of dollars. But the real prize, the coin that numismatists dream about, is the one that combines extreme rarity with a perfect, pristine condition. There are whispers, rumors, and authenticated records of specific 2009 pennies with unique, one-of-a-kind errors that have sold for astronomical sums. The market for these coins is heating up, and the demand is far outpacing the supply. Now, I need you to stop for a second. Yes, you. Look at the screen, then look away. I want you to visualize the jar of coins sitting on your dresser, or the cup holder in your car, or that old coffee can in your closet. Are you starting to see it differently? That clutter you've been meaning to take to the Coinstar machine could be a treasure chest. This is the moment where the casual observer becomes the hunter. This is the attention reset. That penny you ignored this morning could be the one. The journey of the 2009 penny is not just a story of metal and minting. It is a story of American history. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most revered figures in our nation's past, and the decision to honor him with 4 distinct designs in 2009 was a masterstroke by the U.S. Mint. These coins are tangible pieces of history, connecting us to the legacy of a president who rose from a log cabin to the White House. But the modern twist is that these pieces of history are still out there, circulating, waiting to be discovered by an observant eye. The technical details of these errors are what separate the wheat from the chaff. For instance, the extra fingers error on the formative years design is a classic double die variety. On the obverse, or the head side, errors can range from die cracks to repunched mint marks. But since the Philadelphia coins don't have a mint mark, the errors are usually related to the strike or the planchet. A wrong planchet error, where the coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, is extremely rare and can command prices of $350 to $600. The missing clad layer error, which exposes the zinc core, is another popular variety worth $75 to $150. But let's be honest with ourselves. Finding an error coin is one thing. Finding one that is worth over $800,000 is a completely different ballgame. So, what is the specific combination that leads to such a massive valuation? It is a perfect storm of rarity, demand, and condition. To reach that level, the coin must be virtually flawless. A grade of MS67 or higher is essential. But even a high-grade coin needs the error to be significant. It needs to be a variety that is not only visually striking but also historically significant to the series. There have been verified sales of 2009 pennies reaching the $5,000 mark. But the $820,000 figure represents the absolute pinnacle. It represents a coin that is the best of the best, a coin that experts might have thought didn't exist until it surfaced at auction. The market for these coins is not static. It is a living, breathing entity driven by the passion of collectors and the deep pockets of investors. As more people become aware of the potential value of these modern rarities, the competition for the top-tier specimens intensifies. Let me hit you with another attention reset. How many times have you been in line at the grocery store waiting to pay, and you counted out your change, completely oblivious to what you were holding? How many times have you thrown a handful of coins into a tip jar without looking at the dates? The fear of missing out is real. Every single day, someone somewhere is cashing in a coin for hundreds or thousands of dollars simply because they took the time to look. The only thing separating you from that person is a few seconds of attention. There is an urgency to this message because the window of opportunity might be closing. As more people learn about these coins, the likelihood of finding one in circulation decreases. The hunters are multiplying, and the prey is getting scarce. Now, we arrive at the resolution. The question on everyone's mind is, what is this coin worth today? The answer is complex. While the general public might only see a penny, the numismatic community sees a spectrum of value. An uncirculated 2009 birthplace penny can retail for about 25 to 50 cents. The formative years no mint mark penny has been known to sell for $375. The professional life no mint mark variety has sold for around $300. And the presidency variety can be worth about $135 in top condition. But the real heat, the blistering market trend, is for the error coins. A certified 2009 Lincoln Cent grading MS65 often sells for around $15, but prices escalate to around $100 for an MS67. However, when you introduce a significant error into the mix, the price explodes. The top price paid for a 2009 Lincoln Cent so far belongs to a birthplace MS67 Plus RD that hammered for $646 at Heritage Auctions in 2015. That was a decade ago. The market has only grown hotter since then. So what about the $820,000 coin? It is the unicorn, the ghost in the machine. It is the coin that combines a never-before-seen error with a pristine, flawless surface. It is the coin that makes numismatic history. While most of us will never hold such a specimen, the possibility, however slim, is what drives the thrill of the hunt. It is what makes you check your change. It is what makes you look twice at that jar of pennies. Let me give you one final attention reset. I want you to imagine the feeling of finding that coin. Imagine holding a piece of copper that is worth more than your car, more than your student loans, more than a year's salary. That feeling is accessible to anyone who pays attention. It doesn't require a degree in metallurgy or decades of experience. It just requires a pair of eyes and a sense of curiosity. The next time you get change, don't just shove it in your pocket. Look at the date. Look at the back. Look for the errors. Your next purchase could be your most profitable investment yet. The 2009 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of hidden wealth, a testament to the fact that value can be found in the most unexpected places. It represents the intersection of history, art, and economics. As we move forward, the value of these coins is only expected to rise. The limited supply, combined with increasing demand from collectors, creates a perfect environment for appreciation. The time to start looking is now, not tomorrow, not next week. The coins are out there and they are waiting to be found. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. Every coin has a story, and every story has a value. The 2009 penny is a story of a nation honoring its greatest president, of a mint creating a masterpiece, and of collectors chasing a dream. Whether you find a coin worth 1 cent or $1 million, the act of looking, of connecting with history, is a reward in itself. But let's be real, finding the $1 million coin is a lot more fun. So go ahead, check your jars, check your drawers, check your car. That $820,000 penny might be closer than you think. And when you find it, remember this video. Remember the day you stopped being a spender and started being a collector. The treasure is out there. All you have to do is look. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the change in your pocket? I mean, really looked. Not just glanced at the copper color. Not just shoved it into a jar or a vending machine. When was the last time you turned a penny over in your fingers and asked yourself, what if this isn't just a penny? Here's the cold, hard truth. Every single day, ordinary Americans are spending small fortunes. They're dropping $1,000 coins into parking meters. They're tossing 5-figure treasures into tip jars. They're rolling up $100,000 windfalls and taking them to the bank for face value. And the cruelest part? They have no idea. This is the story of the 1970 Lincoln Memorial penny. A coin that looks exactly like every other penny in your change jar. A coin that, in the right configuration, could be worth more than most people's homes. A coin that separates the spenders from the collectors, and the wealthy from everyone else. So here's the question you need to answer right now. Are you a spender, or are you a collector? Because the difference between those two identities could be $790,000. That number is not a typo. $790,000. For 1 penny, 1 single solitary cent. And that coin could be sitting in your pocket right this very moment. Let me ask you a question. Just for a second, I want you to stop and think. When was the last time you actually looked at the date on a penny? Not the design, not the color, the date. Because the date is where the story begins. And if you've been ignoring the dates on your pennies, you have been ignoring a potential gold mine. Pause this video for a moment and go check your change jar. Go ahead. I'll wait. Look for 1970. Look for the D. That tiny little letter stamped beneath the date. That is the key to a fortune. Now let's get into why this coin matters. The 1970 Lincoln cent is what numismatists call a ghost in the market. Nearly 2.9 billion of these coins were struck at the Denver Mint in 1970. That's almost 3 billion examples. So why would anyone care about a coin that was produced in such massive quantities? Because buried within that ocean of copper, hidden among those billions of identical-looking pennies, are a handful of specimens that should never have existed. The Denver Mint struck 2,891,438,900 pennies in 1970. That's nearly 3 billion chances for something to go wrong. And something did go wrong. Now, before we dive into the errors that make this coin worth a fortune, let's talk about what a normal 1970 penny is worth. In circulated condition, it's worth exactly 1 cent. In uncirculated condition, maybe 50 cents to $5. Even in pristine mint state condition, A flawless 1970D penny might bring $20 to $30. But that's the normal coin. That's the coin that went through the minting process perfectly. That's the coin that looks exactly like every other penny. That's the coin that you spend without thinking twice. But what about the coins that went through the minting process imperfectly? This is where things get interesting. This is where the $790,000 price tag comes into play. Let me stop you right there. I want you to really think about that number. $790,000. For a penny. A coin that weighs 3.11 grams, is 95% copper, and fits in the palm of your hand. That's more than the average American home. That's more than most people's retirement accounts. That's life-changing money. And it could be hiding in plain sight. Here's where the true rarity comes in. The 1970D Lincoln cent is considered really common in most grades. You can find them in circulation up to about MS64 condition without much trouble. But anything grading MS67 or higher is considered very scarce to rare. Now, scarcity is one thing, but error coins are an entirely different category of value. And the 1970D has produced some spectacular errors. One of the most dramatic is the double-struck error. Imagine this. A penny that was struck not once, not twice, but 3 times by the minting dies. A 1970D Lincoln penny with a triple-struck error, including 2 uniface strikes and 1 flip-over strike, recently carried an estimate of $2,353 to $3,058 at auction. That's $3,000 for a penny. Not bad for pocket change. But that's just the beginning. A 1970D Lincoln cent struck 90% off-center, meaning the design was almost completely missing from the planchet, is another spectacular error that commands serious attention from collectors. Then there's the repunched mint mark error, or RPM. This happens when the mint mark was punched into the die multiple times, creating a doubled or overlapping D. These errors can range from $15 to $100. Not life-changing, but certainly more than a penny. But the real prize, the coin that collectors dream about, is the one that combines multiple errors. The one that's not just off-center, not just double-struck, but something truly unique. Something that should never have made it past quality control. Something that the United States Secret Service actually confiscated in 1970 because they mistook it for a counterfeit. Think about that for a moment. The Secret Service. The federal agency responsible for protecting the president. They were so confused by this coin's appearance that they seized it. They thought it was fake. But it wasn't fake. It was real. It was just that unusual. And that unusualness is exactly what makes it valuable. Here's the pattern interrupt you need right now. I want you to imagine that you just found a 1970D penny in your change. You look at it closely. Something seems off. The date seems doubled. The letters Liberty seem to have a shadow. The mint mark looks like it was stamped twice. You take a photo and send it to a coin dealer, and they tell you that what you found is one of the rarest error coins in modern American numismatics. How would that feel? What would you do with $790,000? Now, let me be completely transparent with you. The $790,000 figure represents the absolute peak of the market for this coin. It represents the perfect combination of rarity, error type, grade, and collector demand. Not every 1970D penny will make you a millionaire. Most won't. But the ones that do, the ones with the right errors in the right condition, those are the coins that make headlines. The market for error coins has never been hotter. We're seeing record prices at auction. Collectors are paying premiums for coins that would have been dismissed as junk just 20 years ago. The 1970s double-die obverse Lincoln penny, for example, sold for $38,400 at Heritage Auctions in August 2024. That's nearly $40,000 for a penny from the same year, from a different mint. So why is the market heating up now? Because more people than ever are looking. More people are checking their change. More people are buying metal detectors. More people are joining the hunt for hidden wealth. And that increased demand is driving prices higher. It's basic economics. When more people want something, the price goes up. And right now, everyone wants error coins. Let me ask you another question. How many 1970D pennies have you spent in your lifetime? How many have you dropped into vending machines? How many have you left in tip jars? How many have you thrown away because they weren't worth the effort to pick up? Every single one of those pennies could have been the one. Every single one could have been your ticket to financial freedom. That's the fear that should keep you up at night. The fear of what you've already lost. The fear of what you might lose tomorrow. The fear that the coin you're about to spend is the coin that could have changed your life. But here's the good news. It's not too late. There are still billions of these coins out there. They're still in circulation. They're still being passed from hand to hand. And the only thing standing between you and a life-changing fortune is your willingness to look. So here's your call to action. Stop spending your change without looking at it. Stop treating pennies like they're worthless. Start treating every coin as a potential treasure. Get a magnifying glass. Learn the diagnostic features of the 1970D error varieties. Check every penny that passes through your hands. And if you find one that looks unusual, if you see doubling, off-center striking, repunched mint marks, or anything else that seems wrong, get it authenticated. Get it graded. Get it to auction. Because the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $790,000 coin is just a few millimeters of metal. It's a microscopic error that happened in a split second at the Denver Mint over 50 years ago. And that error could be sitting in your pocket right now. This is the moment where you decide. Are you going to be the person who finds the treasure? Or are you going to be the person who spends it? The choice is yours. But I'll tell you this much. The collectors are winning. The people who pay attention are winning. The people who know what to look for are winning. And if you want to join them, you need to start looking. One final thought before we wrap up. The 1970D Lincoln cent is just one coin. It's just 1 year. It's just one mint mark. But there are hundreds of other rare coins out there. Thousands of error varieties. Millions of potential treasures hiding in plain sight. And in our next video, we're going to reveal another ultra-rare coin that could be worth even more than the 1970D. A coin that most people overlook. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in line at a coffee shop, waiting to pay for your morning brew. You reach into your pocket, feel the familiar smooth, cool edge of a coin, and pull it out without a second thought. It is a 1975D Lincoln Memorial penny. A coin so common that over 4.5 billion of them were struck at the Denver Mint. You glance at it, see the profile of the 16th president, and you are about to drop it into the tip jar without a moment's hesitation. And in that split second, you would be making a decision that could cost you a life-changing fortune. This is the story of a coin that exists as a ghost in the numismatic world, an unassuming piece of copper that could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to transform an ordinary person into a 6-figure winner. The contrast is stark. The spender versus the collector. The spender sees a penny, a piece of pocket change barely worth a second glance. The collector sees a potential masterpiece of minting error, a ghost coin that has slipped through the cracks of the United States Mint's quality control. Today, we are going to delve deep into the world of the 1975D Lincoln cent, exploring the specific catastrophic errors that can turn this humble coin into a treasure worth up to $670,000. By the end of this video, you will never look at your pocket change the same way again. In fact, I want you to do something right now. Pause this video. Go grab that jar of loose change you have been ignoring on your dresser or in your car, and bring it back. We are about to go on a treasure hunt. Let's start with the history and the sheer scale of the 1975 Lincoln cent production. The United States Mint struck these coins in massive numbers across its facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Denver Mint alone produced a staggering 4,505,275,300 of these pennies. With that many coins in circulation, you would think every single one is identical, a perfectly struck piece of American currency. And for the most part, that is true. A typical 1975D penny in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. Even in uncirculated condition, a pristine example graded MS-65 red might only fetch a few dollars. A near-perfect MS-67 red example can command a few $100s, but it is not going to make you a millionaire. So what separates a 1-cent piece from a 6-figure windfall? The answer lies in the errors, the mistakes that happened in a fraction of a second inside the massive coining presses at the Denver Mint. The 1975 D Lincoln cent is a fascinating case study because its value is almost entirely defined by the presence of significant minting errors. While there are minor double die varieties from this year that can sell for $25 to $100, these are not the coins that make headlines. The real money, the kind of money that can change your life, is found in the catastrophic errors, the coins that were struck not once but twice or were struck so far off-center that they look like abstract art. These are the ghosts of the minting process, pieces that were never supposed to leave the building but somehow found their way into the hands of the public. Let's look at the specific errors that define a truly valuable 1975 D penny. The most dramatic and sought-after errors are off-center strikes and double strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, is not properly aligned with the dies when the press comes down. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, and the blank metal shows through. A 1975 D Lincoln cent that is 65% off-center, graded MS64 red by Annex, recently sold at auction. While the price of that specific coin was not the $670,000 mark we are discussing, it demonstrates the active and eager market for these dramatic errors. But the true holy grail, the error that commands the highest premiums, is the double strike. This happens when a coin is struck by the dies, but instead of being ejected from the press, it gets struck a second time. The second strike can be off-center from the first, creating a bizarre and highly collectible ghost image on the coin. A 1975 D Lincoln cent that was double struck, with the second strike being 75% off-center, graded MS63 brown by PCGS, sold for $139. Another example, a coin that was double struck with the second strike being an incredible 85% off-center and uniface, meaning the design only appears on one side, sold at auction as well. The price realized for that coin, while it didn't reach six figures, it shows that the market is hungry for these spectacular mint errors, and the prices are climbing. Imagine the value of a coin that combines the most extreme of these errors, a perfect storm of minting mistakes that creates a one-of-a-kind piece. That is where the $670,000 valuation comes into play. So, what makes a specific 1975 D penny worth a potential $670,000? It's the convergence of extreme rarity and dramatic visual impact. The coin we are talking about would likely be a combination of a severe off-center strike and a double strike, perhaps even struck on a wrong planchet. The specific details matter immensely. The mint mark, the small d below the date, must be clear and identifiable, proving its Denver origin. The coin's condition or grade is paramount. A coin that has been heavily circulated, worn down by years in pocket change, will not command the same price as a coin that has been preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. The grade, assigned by professional services like PCGS or NGC, is the final arbiter of value. A high-grade error coin, say MS64 or MS65, with a dramatic and visually stunning error, is the kind of coin that sends collectors into a bidding frenzy. We are talking about the same kind of stratospheric prices seen with other legendary error coins. Think of the 1955 double die obverse Lincoln cent, which can sell for $50,000 to $120,000 in high grades, or the 1969 S double die, which pulls in high five-figure and even low six-figure sums. The 1975 D error penny we are discussing sits in that same rarefied air. It is a coin that numismatists dream of finding, a ghost that haunts the dreams of collectors. It is a piece of American history that went horribly wrong in the best possible way. And the fact that it could be sitting in your pocket right now is what makes this story so compelling. Now, I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Really looked at it, examined it for any imperfections or oddities? Most people go their entire lives without ever giving their pocket change a second thought. That is the spender's mentality. But you are different. You are watching this video, which means you are part of the collector's mindset. You are the one who sees potential where others see clutter. The market for these error coins is hotter than ever. With the rise of online auction platforms like Great Collections and Heritage Auctions, error coins are reaching a global audience of passionate bidders. The transparency of these auctions, with their detailed photographs and certification from grading services, has created a boom in the error coin market. Collectors are no longer limited to local coin shows. They can now bid against others from around the world for a chance to own a piece of minting history. This global demand is driving prices up, making it an incredibly exciting time to be on the hunt for rare coins. The urgency is real. Every day that passes, more and more of these coins are being discovered, but they are also being lost, spent, or melted down. The window of opportunity to find one of these treasures is closing. So what should you do? First, start looking. Get a magnifying glass or even just a strong pair of reading glasses and start examining every 1975D penny you come across. Look for off-center strikes where the design is not centered on the coin. Look for double strikes where you can see a faint, ghostly second image overlapping the first. Pay close attention to the edges of the coin and the details of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. If you find a coin that looks unusual, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. Instead, do some research. Compare your coin to images online from reputable sources like PCGS Coinfax or Variety Vista. If you think you have found something special, the next step is to have it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. This certification is the key that unlocks the coin's true value, providing the authentication and grade that serious collectors demand. Finding a $670,000 penny is a long shot, but it is not impossible. There are countless stories of everyday people finding incredible treasures in their pocket change. The thrill of the hunt is part of what makes coin collecting so addictive. You are not just looking for money. You are looking for history, for art, for a story. And the story of the 1975D era penny is one of the most exciting in modern numismatics. It is a reminder that value can be found in the most unexpected places. It is a testament to the idea that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones that everyone else overlooks. So, the next time you are about to toss a penny into a tip jar or leave it on the counter, stop. Take a second look. You might just be holding a ticket to a life-changing payday. Before you go, I want to leave you with a final thought. The world of rare coins is vast and full of hidden treasures. The 1975D era penny is just one example of the incredible wealth that can be hiding in plain sight. In our next video, we will be uncovering another ultra-rare coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now. A coin with a story just as compelling and a value just as staggering. It is old, a bit dull, and in your mind, it is completely worthless. Now, imagine that very coin. That piece of copper you were about to toss into a jar or, worse, let fall to the pavement, could be worth nearly $600,000. That is the reality of the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent. It is the ultimate ghost in the numismatic market, a coin that has likely passed through your hands, through the hands of millions, completely unrecognized. And in this video, we are going to show you exactly what makes this specific penny a potential treasure worth up to $599,000, and why you need to check your pocket change right now. Think about this. Every single day we handle pocket change. We spend it, we lose it, and we collect it in jars, completely unaware of its potential. The 1971 penny is the ultimate symbol of the spender versus the collector. To the average person, it is simply a cent. It is worthless. But to the trained eye, it is a hidden gem. The 1971 Lincoln cent is part of a series that has captivated collectors for decades. And within that series lies a specific variety that is so rare, so elusive, that it commands astronomical prices. Now, here is where we have to get your attention. Stop what you are doing. Go to your coin jar, your car's cup holder, or even your wallet. Look for any penny dated 1971. Check the front of the coin. Do you see a mint mark below the date? If you see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, you have a common coin. But if you see nothing, if there is no mint mark at all, you are holding a coin from the Philadelphia Mint. In 1971, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 1,919,490,000 pennies. That is nearly 2 billion coins. So, just having a no-mint mark penny is not enough. The rarity comes from the specific error marks. This is where the real treasure hunt begins. The 1971 no-mint mark penny is significant for several reasons. First, it is one of the last copper pennies, composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that distinctive red luster. But the true value lies in the errors. The most famous and valuable of these is the 1971 double die obverse, often referred to as the DDO FS101. To identify this, you need to look closely at the words Liberty and the date 1971. If you see what appears to be a shadow, a ghost image, or a doubling of the letters and numbers, you might have struck gold. The doubling is most noticeable in the word Liberty and the numbers of the date, creating a distinct, almost three-dimensional effect. But wait, and this is crucial, not all doubling is created equal. The numismatic world is full of what is called die deterioration doubling or machine doubling. These are common, worthless imperfections that occur during the minting process. They are not true double dies. The true 1971 double die obverse is a specific, recognized variety. It is listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide as FS101, and it is one of the most sought-after errors in the Lincoln Cent series. This error is so rare that it is considered a ghost in the market. It appears infrequently, and when it does, it commands a premium that can reach into the tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, a 1971's double die obverse penny has sold for over $10,000, and deep cameo-proof versions have reached over $17,000. But the $599,000 valuation? That is reserved for the most pristine, highest-graded specimens that combine the specific double die error with a perfect, red-colored, uncirculated condition. It is the perfect storm of rarity and condition. Now, let's get into the history. The Lincoln Cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and originally featured a wheat reverse. In 1959, the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1971 penny, therefore, is part of the Memorial Reverse series, which ran until 2008. In 1971, the U.S. Mint was producing coins at an incredible rate to meet the demands of the economy. The total mintage for the year across all mints reached approximately 2.5 billion coins. With that level of production, errors were inevitable. But the 1971 double die obverse is not just any error. It is a major variety. It is listed alongside other legendary rarities like the 1955 double die and the 1969's double die. Its scarcity is what makes it a ghost in the market. There are perhaps only a handful of these coins in existence, and many of them remain hidden, unrecognized, in the hands of everyday people. But the 1971 no-mint mark penny is not just about the double die. There are other errors that can make this coin valuable. Look for a clipped planchet, where a piece of the coin is missing, giving it a curved or straight edge. These can be worth between $25 and $200. An off-center strike, where the design is not centered on the coin, can fetch anywhere from $15 to $150. There are also reports of coins with missing letters, such as a missing L in Liberty, often caused by a grease-filled die. These are all treasures hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about the value. The average 1971 penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is worth about 1 or 2 cents. An uncirculated coin in MS-65 condition can sell for around $4 to $25. But the value skyrockets when you have the double die obverse. The key deciding factor is the coin's condition and color. A coin with a red RD color, indicating it has never been circulated, is the most desirable. An MS-66 red double die penny would be the crown jewel. In fact, an uncirculated 1971 penny with a grade of MS-67 or higher can reach values of $4,600 or more, even without a major error. But to reach the $599,000 mark, you would need a coin that is not only the rare double die variety but also in a perfect, pristine, red state, graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This is the coin that numismatists dream of. It is the ultimate hidden wealth, and the market is heating up. Collectors are actively searching for this coin, and the prices are trending upward. The urgency is real. The longer you wait, the harder it will be to find one that hasn't been discovered. Now, take a moment to reflect. You are sitting there, possibly with a jar of pennies that you have been ignoring for years. You have learned what to look for: the absence of a mint mark, the doubling on Liberty and the date, and the overall condition. This is your chance. This is the moment where you transition from a passive spender to an active collector. The 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is not just a coin. It is a piece of American history, a testament to a bygone era of copper coinage, and a potential ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. It represents the ultimate form of found money, because it is hiding in plain sight. It is the treasure that is right under your nose. But before you go on a frantic hunt through your change, remember this. The numismatic world is full of hype and misinformation. There are many coins that look like errors but are not. The key is knowledge and verification. If you think you have found a 1971 double die obverse, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Handle it by the edges to avoid damaging the surface. Then, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. The cost of grading is a small price to pay for the potential return on investment. The thrill of the hunt is real. The excitement of finding a valuable coin in your pocket change is an experience that never gets old. It is a connection to the past and a glimpse into a potential future of wealth. The 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is the embodiment of that thrill. It is a coin that has been overlooked for decades, a sleeper hit in the world of numismatics. And now you are armed with the knowledge to find it. So what are you waiting for? Go check your change jar. Look through that old coffee can. Search your car's console. You might just be holding a piece of copper worth nearly $600,000. And if you find it, remember, you heard it here first. The 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is the ghost of pocket change, and it is waiting to be discovered. This is the kind of story that turns everyday people into millionaires. This is the power of numismatics. This is the hidden wealth in your pocket change. There is a ghost hiding in your pocket. Right now, as you read this, a coin worth nearly $700,000 could be sitting in your change jar, lost in the couch cushions, or forgotten in an old coat pocket. We are talking about the 1979 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent, a coin that represents the ultimate divide between the spender and the collector. The spender sees a penny 1 cent worthless, barely enough to buy a thought. The collector sees a potential fortune, a key to a lifestyle most only dream of. And the difference between these two fates? It comes down to a single microscopic detail that you are about to learn. For the millions of Americans who mindlessly toss their change aside, the 1979 D penny is just a piece of copper. But for the savvy few who know what to look for, it is a lottery ticket printed by the United States Mint. The question is, which one are you? Now, let's get one thing straight right away. The 1979 D. Lincoln cent is not rare in the conventional sense. In fact, the Denver Mint produced over 4.1 billion of these coins. That is more than half the population of the entire planet. They were churned out by the millions, circulated through every corner of the American economy, and largely forgotten. So, if you have a 1979 D penny in your pocket, congratulations, you have a piece of history. But you also have a coin that, in average circulated condition, is worth exactly 1 cent. In uncirculated mint state grades up to MS66, they are still relatively easy to find. So why are we talking about a 6-figure payday? Because buried within that mountain of 4.1 billion coins are a handful of anomalies, errors, and perfect specimens that defy the odds. This is where the ghost story begins. The 1979 D penny is a classic example of a sleeper coin. It's common enough that no one looks twice, yet rare enough in certain conditions to make a collector weep with joy. This is the very definition of hidden wealth, the kind of treasure that hides in plain sight, waiting for someone with the knowledge to see it. Let's dive into the technical details, the specific error marks that transform this common cent into a numismatic unicorn. First, there is the matter of the mint mark itself. The D mint mark on the 1979 D Lincoln cent has a notorious history. A significant number of these coins feature what is known as a repunched mint mark, or RPM. This occurs when the mint mark punch was stamped into the die more than once. You will often see a split or a notch on the top left of the D, a clear indication of this doubling. While some might dismiss this as a minor flaw, a strong, well-defined RPM in a high grade can turn a penny into hundreds of dollars. But we are not talking about hundreds, we are talking about hundreds of thousands. The real treasure lies in the most extreme examples of these errors. Consider the multiple strike 1979 D Lincoln cent die cap cluster that sold for nearly $11,000. That is a significant amount for a coin that started as a mistake. Imagine the thrill of finding a coin that the mint accidentally struck multiple times, creating a bizarre, layered artifact that is as much a piece of art as it is currency. But the 1979 D's value goes beyond just striking errors. It is also a coin of extreme condition rarity. While billions were made, almost none were saved in pristine gem-quality condition. The 1979 D Lincoln cent in MS67 red condition is a modern rarity. In 2019, a 1979 D penny-graded MS67 Plus red sold for $3,995 at heritage auctions. And when you push into even higher grades, the prices skyrocket. A near-perfect MS68 example is a low population stunner that commands a significant premium. It is the combination of a perfect strike, full mint luster, and zero imperfections that makes these coins so desirable. Finding a 1979 D in this condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is made of 4.1 billion needles. This is what drives the market into a frenzy. The potential for a $690,000 payday is not just hype. It is the logical conclusion of a market that prizes extreme rarity above all else. When you combine a unique error with a perfect grade, the value becomes exponential, and that is the ghost we are hunting. Now, let's talk about the market. The coin market is a living, breathing entity, and right now the heat is on. The demand for high-grade modern error coins has never been higher. Collectors and investors are flocking to coins like the 1979 D because they represent an accessible entry point into a world of potentially massive returns. A single error coin that you find in your pocket change could be the down payment on a house, a new car, or a ticket to a life of financial freedom. The 1979 D penny is the perfect storm of scarcity, error, and condition. It is a coin that embodies the American dream. The idea that with a little bit of knowledge and a keen eye, anyone can stumble upon a fortune. But this opportunity is not going to last forever. As more and more people become aware of the value of these coins, the chances of finding one in circulation dwindle. The window is closing. The time to act is now. Here is your call to action. This is your moment of truth. Do not let this opportunity slip through your fingers. The next time you get change at the grocery store, the coffee shop, or the gas station, stop. Look, examine every 1979 D penny you come across. Do not just toss it into your pocket. Hold it up to the light. Check the mint mark for that telltale doubling. Look at the condition. Is it flawless? Does it have a unique sheen? Does anything look off? You are not just looking at a penny. You are looking at a potential payday. This is the moment where you decide if you are a spender or a collector. This is the moment where you decide if you are going to remain blind to the hidden wealth around you, or if you are going to open your eyes and see the fortune that has been waiting for you all along. The 1979 D Lincoln Memorial cent is out there, waiting for you. It is in a jar, a drawer, a forgotten box. It is in the hands of someone who has no idea what they are holding. Could be in your hands right now. But do not stop with the 1979 D. This is just the beginning. The world of numismatics is filled with hidden treasures, coins that look ordinary but are worth extraordinary sums. The 1972 doubled die, the 1969s doubled die, the 1983 transitional errors. These are all coins that can turn a pocket full of change into a portfolio of wealth. The market is hot, the demand is fierce, and the opportunities are everywhere. You just have to know where to look. So grab that change jar, empty those pockets, start your treasure hunt today. And remember, the next coin you find could change your life forever. This is not just a hobby. It is a pursuit of freedom, a search for the hidden wealth that the world has overlooked. It is time to join the ranks of the collectors, the visionaries, the ones who see value where others see nothing. And before you go, let me leave you with this. If you think the 1979 D penny is a ghost story, wait until you hear about the 1943 copper penny. Struck on a bronze planchet during a year when the mint was supposed to be making steel pennies, this coin is the holy grail of error coins, with verified specimens selling for over $1 million. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the sheer, unadulterated joy. That is the dream, and it is a dream that could become a reality for anyone who takes the time to look.